Hello students, in the subject of integrated marketing communication and brand management, today we are going to discuss very important topic which is identifying and establishing brand positioning and the values. In earlier lecture we have seen that brand positioning is nothing but the act of designing the company's offer and image so that it can occupy a distinct or the value place in the target market's mind. Correct? So positioning is all about identifying the optimal location of a brand and its competitors in the minds of consumer to maximize the potential benefit to the firm. So according to customer-based brand equity model, deciding on a positioning requires determining a frame of references by identifying the target market or the nature of competition or the ideal points of parity and points of difference and brand association. So we are going to discuss each and every point in thoroughly in seeing the topic of identifying the brand positioning and the value. So let's just get started. So student, as you can see, for identifying brand positioning and value, we are going to cover the four important topics in positioning. The first one we have is segmentation basis. So to identify the brand positioning and values, we have to decide what kind of market segmentation basis you are going to consider in the brand positioning. So what is segmentation? So you can we have the understanding of market segmentation. Market segmentation is nothing but the segregating your huge market into small parts. So there will be some basis on which you can segment your market. Like you can take a basis of suppose demographic, wherein you can segment your market accordingly the customer's income or the age or the gender or the race or the family. Other example is you can segment your market geographically, where you can segment your market like internationally or the regional or the on the basis of the state, the basis of the nation, that you can do. You can segment your market on the basis of behavior, where you can use the user status or usage rate or the usage occasion or the brand loyalty or the benefits of within an product. So that can also be a basis for consumer segmentation. Then there will be another segmentation called psychographic, where you can use the values or opinions or the attitudes or the lifestyle of the customer, and on the basis of that you can segment your consumer. So that is for the consumer segmentation, but you can also segment your business B2B basis, like business to business segmentation you can do also, wherein you what will be the basis for that. So nature of goods can be a basis for this B2B segmentation, where you will find what kind of goods you are producing, where your goods are being used, what type of buy the consumer have, so that you can do. Another basis for your business to business segmentation will be the buying condition. So where purchase on the basis of purchase location, or who is buying the product, or what type of product you are buying to the businesses, that you can do. Next segmentation you can do is demographic, where you can use the SIC code or the number of employees or the number of production workers or the annual sales or the volume or the nature of establishment. So you can base your products or the business on this various segmentation basis. So when we talk about the segmentation basis, we should have known about suppose taking an example of toothpaste market. So there will be four main segments of where you can basis your market segmentation. The first one will be the sensory segment, where you can seeking for flavor or the product appearances to the audiences. Then you can seek for the sociable segment, where you can seeking the brightness of the teeth. Then you can segment the product or the brand your product in the what can I say? Yes, the warriors segment where they are seeking for the decay prevention. You can create an independent segment where the audiences are seeking for the low price. So this kind of segmentation basis you have to design in the brand positioning on the earlier stage. So that is first step. Second step we have is the nature of competition. So we are talking about we are talking about the competition which we have facing. So deciding the target market is another part, but what kind of competition you are facing, what kind of competitors you have in a market, that is the study of that is also very important to create the brand positioning. So if suppose taken an example, if there is indirect competition, so like competition which occurs on the benefit level rather than attribute level, that is called as the indirect competition. So what we can do is, so products which are often organizing consumers mind, they do have a hierarchical fashion. That means if suppose the product number one is not available, we will jump to the product number two or brand number two. So get that hierarchical fashion, you have to put more efforts. You have to uh, like you have to be more you have to be unique from your competition. So the marketer should define the competition at a number of different level. So taking an example, suppose example of this thing, the fruity advertisement, they do stress upon that their drink is non-flavored one. They use the original products, and that is why their taste is the original taste and not the artificial one. So that is another brand positioning which certainly highlights the what disadvantage of competition, where they are suggesting that they are another competitors of fruity are using the artificial flavor while they are using the original mangoes for making the fruity. So that is the nature of competition. The next you have is in competition also, next you have is multiple frames of references. See, what we are trying to say here is a product can be used in many times, right? So you have to communicate the every use or every references to the, you have to tell the customers to every references of that particular product. So it is very uncommon for a brand to identify more than one frame of references, and therein for brand positioning it is very helpful to quote the various multiple frames of references. Taking an example, suppose as we all know that Canon, suppose the Canon company is producing the digital camera. So not only the Nikon, Kodak or other digital camera companies are their competition, right? But the another part which oftenly we ignore, that nowadays because the smartphone industry is growing rapidly, they do have a high definition cameras, they do have the high definition videos facility within them. So that is also that is also a competition for the Canon, right? So that reference you can use in your what can I say, in your brand positioning. That uh, although you are using the smartphones for taking an easy photo or sharing on the social network, but then only you can use the Canon digital camera, which gives you the more what resolved or high definition photos compared to the smartphone, that you can use for your brand positioning. So brand positioning, for identifying your brand positioning, you have to take out of the box, you have to think the out of the box, and you have to give the multiple frames of references for your product to get that position in the customer's mind. Because nowadays customer is very much aware about all the products they do have, they have multiple choices to get a particular product. So therein establishing that space in customers' mind is very difficult. The last point wherein we are going to identify the brand positioning, that you have to get your points of reference, point of differences and point of parity is very clear. So what are the point of differences? PODs. So point of differences are uh, attributes or the benefits that consumers strongly associated with a particular brand, positively evaluated, and believe that they could not find the same extent with the competitive brand. So that is your point of difference association. Taken an example of Apple products. So Apple products point of difference is they cannot be infected by any viruses. So that is their the foremost benefit which they do have over the competitive brand. So that is point of difference. Next you have is point of parity association. So point of parity association are those points which are not necessarily unique to the brand, but they are not unique with the various brand, but in fact every brands do have the similar kind of what uh, similar kind of features they do have. That is point of parity association, wherein suppose somebody is saying that this smartphone is giving you the 64 megapixel camera. So the point of parity, suppose Samsung is providing 64 megapixel camera in particular handset. So what will be the point of parity association? That the same model and the same feature will be available with the Oppo or Vivo smartphone company, Vivo handsets with in lesser price. So that is point of parity association. So nothing, point of parities are nothing but the similar points which we share with our competitive brands. While point of difference are those points which are differed or which are unique attributes for your product. So identifying your point of parity association as well as point of difference association is very important in identifying brand positioning and the values. Now, another part which we are going to discuss here is establishing brand positioning and values. So, until now, we have identified our brand positioning, and now we are going to establish those and values for your products, for your better marketing communication. So, first point we have is in establishing brand communication and values, we have to communicate the category benefits to the customer. So to reassure consumer that a brand will a fundamental deliver on the fundamental reason for using a particular category, marketers frequently use the benefits to announce the category membership. Like you can give them the unique feature or the category where customer can relate to you. So these benefits are presented in a manner that does not imply brand superiority, but merely notes that the brand possesses them as the means to establish the category's point of parities. Now, we can do that with the, suppose we can do that with the help of product descriptor. So the product descriptor is nothing but it follows the brand name, which is often a very compact means of conveying the category. For taking an example, um, US Air changed their name to US Airways. So what why they does that? Because according to CEO Stephen Wolf, he said that as a part of airlines attempted transformation from a regional carrier with a poor reputation to a strong national or even international brand. So the argument they are saying that other major airlines had the word airlines or the airways in their name rather than air, so which was felt to be like typically associated with the smaller and regional carriers. So they does that to accommodate the national or international brand and to create a strong reputation in the customer's mind. So they changed the US Air name to the US Airways. Next, point we can do, next thing we can do is we can use the exemplars. So exemplars are like there has to be some suspense kind of thing in your brand positioning. Taking an example of Tommy Hilfiger. So what happens is he is an unknown designer. Nobody knows that who is Tommy Hilfiger, right? But he announced his membership like with the various American designers like Stanley Baker or the Calvin Klein or the Barry Lewis. So they were recognized the member of the category at that time. But Tommy Hilfiger never comes outside and never reveal his identity on the initial stage. So that is exemplar which you can use to to give the category benefits, to communicate the category benefits to the customers. Okay. Next, the another point we have is choosing point of differences. See, when we say that you have to establish the brand positioning, the very important point is you have to choose what points of differences you have over the competitive brand. So a brand must offer a compelling or the creditable reason for choosing it over the other option. So in determining whether an attribute or the benefit for a brand, it can serve as a point of difference. There are various key considerations which we should you do. So the consideration will be like desirability, which is determined from the customer's point of view. Then the another key consideration is deliverability. So wherein you have to decide over the company's inherent capabilities to deliver the promises to the customers. And the last key factor will be the differentiation, wherein you have to determine determine the differentiation, keeping in mind of competitors. So differentiation will be determined on the basis of the competitors. So these are the three considerations which we took into consideration in choosing point of differences. The next you have is, and same with the case of point of parity also. Next you have is you have to redefine the relationship with the customers. That is very, very important in the establishing the brand positioning. Why it is important? Because see, when we say that what when we say that these are our POPs and these are our POVs, the next thing you have to redefine the relationship with the customers also, because it is very difficult way to address the negative relationship between attributes and the benefits in the mind of customer, and to convince them that in fact of relationship is very positive. So marketer can achieve the positive relationship by providing the consumer with a different perspective and suggesting that they may be overlooking or ignoring certain factors or other consideration. So Apple does that with their marketing campaign. The last point we have is where you establish the brand positioning is you have to update your positioning over the time. So the in previous point we have discussed that there are some positioning guidelines which you should, especially it will be useful for your new brand or to establish brand. But the important question is how often you have to update your positioning. So as a general rule, positioning should be fundamentally changed very frequently, and only when the circumstances which significantly reduces the effectiveness of your existing point of parities as well as the point of differences. So positioning, however, will be evolved over time for better reflect market opportunities or the challenges. So you have to do is you have to identify your PODs time to time, and certainly you have to update your positioning, brand positioning accordingly. So that's it for today's lecture. Until next lecture, please stay tuned and please subscribe to the channel of JS College of Commerce for the e-learning. Thank you.